It's me again. I was about to start doing my makeup and then I realized, I was like, why don't I pull out the camera and let's do our makeup together and talk? Why not? So I kind of already started, but today we are going to be talking about bums. My favorite topic. Why do I love talking about bums so much? Because we all know a bum, whether it is somebody you're just friends with, whether it's like romantic. But I feel like this is something that like I don't typically see people really bringing up in the sense, in the context of them being bums. So that's what we're doing today. So the reason why I want to talk about these people is because I think that bums are some of the most dangerous people in terms of keeping in your close circle, because I think that on a good day, a bum is just lazy, right? You know, you're probably wondering like, how is a bum like gonna ruin my life? But like I said, on a good day, a bum is lazy. On a bad day, that bum is trying to sabotage you. And the reason why I think that they do this type of BS is because deep down, bums know that they're just lazy. There isn't much of a reason for their laziness, typically. I'm not talking about if you actually have a reason why you can't do things. I'm talking about bums. But they don't want to actually fix their laziness. So what do? They want to bring everybody else down to their level, because why? Misery loves company. And that is a pretty standard repeating thing that I see with bummy individuals. Having friends or significant others that don't have dreams or aspirations or hobbies or really anything that they are invested in will not get invested in the things that you're invested in. And it doesn't have to even be like things you're invested in. They just won't get invested in you, right? They're not going to get excited about your goals. It's like they feel threatened by your goals, because if you do well, then you have shown them that anything is possible, right? Especially like when it's people you know. That's when it's like you got to be really careful. When it's people that you're close to, bums do this thing where they like to act like greatness or success is only achievable for like people who already just had everything made, and they want to just make it seem like it's impossible as just an excuse to not really get up and do anything for themselves. So they will sabotage you. And it has happened. It's happened to me too. And I had to be very aware of it. And I had to be like, okay, you know what? I think that this person is projecting and they feel like they don't want to do anything with their life. So therefore they don't want me to do something with my life, because if they see me getting up and doing it, then they're going to be like, okay, well, where's the excuse for me now? You know? People don't really like to just outright say, I'm lazy and I don't want to do anything, or like, I just don't have like aspirations, but I'm here to support and I like that you have aspirations. You know, a lot of lazy people deep down feel guilty that they're lazy when they see their peers do well. And so instead of just saying, hey, maybe I should get up and do something too, what they would really rather do to stay in that, because they just would rather be comfortable, and comfort isn't always a good thing. Sometimes your comfort zone is a miserable zone. Like we see it all the time. A lot of people who don't want to leave toxic relationships because they're used to it. That's their comfort zone. They've gotten so used to being miserable that that is where they feel safe. That is where they feel like they can thrive. Kind of the same thing with the whole, where's my brush? With bums and laziness. They want to stay, I don't want to say broke, but like they just want to stay underachieving. They don't want to put in any work. They're afraid to try. Sometimes it's out of laziness, sometimes it's out of fear. And that's why I say, like, if you are a perfectionist, you have to kick that perfectionism to the curb, because you will find yourself imitating a lot of behaviors that is typical of bummy people to do. It's looking for excuses to not do anything. It's looking for excuses to say why you can't start something. Like, oh, I can't go to college because like I don't have like I don't fucking know, anything. Like you're just gonna put yourself in a space where you are going to look for reasons not to do something. And again, this is very different to people who actually are unable to do something because of a valid excuse. I'm talking like you're looking for excuses. You're being lazy. You want everything done perfectly. So in fear of being imperfect, you just don't do anything at all. So a lot of bums actually do kind of come from a place of perfectionism. And for them, it's like, if they can't have it this perfect way, then they would rather have it no way at all. But like I said, that doesn't matter in terms of you. You have to get away from people who are perfectionists. You have to get away from people who are bums. You have to get away from people who would not encourage you to go out and pursue things, no matter what it is. This is why I kind of stress the importance of like moving with silence. If there is somebody that gives you even the slightest bit of suspicion in your life, please trust that intuition, because a lot of people will prey on your downfall. It really do be the people that are closest to you. Like you would think like, oh, you should support me, like you should be happy for me. No, they're not. Again, misery loves company. There is something to learn really when people say like move in silence. I know sometimes it's like a saying that people just kind of say and they just say it, but like people don't really understand the importance of it. And I want you to understand the importance of it, because I had to do that. As somebody who used to be like a crazy oversharer, I had to really start seeing people in my life, and I had to start seeing how they would react when I would express what my goals were, what my dreams were, whatever I wanted to get into, and I would just see how they would react, right? And the scary thing about bums, when you are close to them, when you know them really well, is I'm very big on talking about like cognitive dissonance and how when somebody's actions don't match up with the person that you think they are. And I think that tends to happen a lot when that bum is somebody who's very close to you, because on one hand, you know them, right? They're so great to you. They love you and everything like that. So you really do believe they want what's best for you. And that is usually the angle that they actually take when they're trying to dissuade you from pursuing something. So for example, if you really want to go to medical school, somebody who would never do what you're doing, but like not because it's just not something that they're personally interested in, they have their other goals in mind that they want to pursue, they're going to tell you why you can't do it. And what's eerie about it is they will do it in a way where it is so caring, and it is so like, I'm just looking out for you, like I just don't want you to like put yourself through that and then fail, because I just don't think you could do it. Like they're going to trick you. They will trick you. They will make you feel like it is out of the kindness of their heart, and it is genuine, and it is because they're trying to protect you from something. That's honestly why I think it's so damaging. And this is why I say I don't like to really give serious life advice to people. You kind of just have to let people like figure shit out for themselves. And that's also why I don't like to take serious life advice from people. If I even for a second have thought that they were somebody who was not looking out for my best interest. And that's why I say you really have to see the people's actions for what they are, and not with the rose-colored glasses and the projections that, you know, you're projecting your belief onto them. You can't do that. It's going to be really hard to see when somebody is just trying to sabotage you, and it's a very painful realization. So it's like a lot of people will put up so much resistance to it. And look, I'm not even saying that you have to cut them out of your life. I mean, more power to you if you're able to do that, but like at least just knowing how to put distance between them and realizing like, hey, they can just be like a for fun friend, but my actual goals and aspirations, I want them to have nothing to do with it. I mean, even me, right? Most people in my life do not know that I film for YouTube. Like I know like I'm not like, you know, I'm still a baby, you know, my channel's still a baby channel, but like most people that I know, I have not told them that I do this. And it's because back then, a lot of people were telling me why I shouldn't do it. People were telling me that people were gonna make fun of me. And so I listened for a very long time. And instead of just taking the plunge and just going for it, I had to realize like, I sat in that, and I had to eventually come to the realization of like, okay, what's holding you back? Oh, you're scared that people are going to make fun of you. Why are you scared people are going to make fun of you? Oh, because these people in my life told me that people were going to make fun of me. And guess what? Nobody has been making fun of me since I've been doing this. And I love it. It's very fun. It's very fulfilling to me. And I really wish I had done it sooner. That is one of my regrets. But that's why I say not everybody's looking out for you. And this is why moving in silence is so important, because another thing is when you keep talking about your goals, it kind of backfires, right? The urgency to achieve said goal actually kind of goes down. Like when you talk about something you want to do, talking about it actually it scratches the itch to actually do it. And this is why even with like my videos, right, I don't script them. And the reason I don't script them is because I feel like if I script them, then I'm gonna feel like I already got off my chest whatever it is that I wanted to say, and then I'm not gonna remember to really look at my script anyways, because I'm a very like go with the flow kind of person, just naturally anyways. I think on the fly. Sometimes it's not to my benefit, but I noticed that like when I would script and I would do like multiple video scripts, and then and it's because I was trying to delay actually filming it. I was trying to delay doing something about it because I kept coming up with excuses as to why I wasn't ready to film it. It wasn't gonna be perfect. I was a huge perfectionist. Now I don't care, but I used to be. And I would notice that it was really hard for me to look back at my script and then reignite the passion to talk about that topic that I had already scripted. Does that make sense? Because writing down my scripts made me feel like, okay, mission accomplished. I said what I wanted to say. And honestly, that's the real reason I advocate for people who need to journal or go to therapy or whatever, because when you write some stuff down, it really does give you clarity, and it really does make you feel like, whew, I got off my chest what I wanted to say. And that's why more people really should journal, because a lot of people walk into conversations and they say some off the wall crap because they did not give what they wanted to say like any amount of thought, really. They just kind of like say things blindly and then let the world react, So before I even like really engage in a conversation, if somebody did something that made me feel some type of way, I'll actually like sit with it and I'll journal about it. So that way when I come into the conversation, I'm not just like spitballing at them and, being overly passionate and overly emotional about things. Do that. Sit with your feelings, sit with your thoughts. It is okay. But yeah, back to the whole bums. Bums will do that, and they will do things in such a subtle way where it's kind of hard to call them out, because if you do call them out, now you're the crazy one, because it's all very passive aggressive. It's kind of hard to listen to somebody say, look, like, you can't go to medical school, like you have a fear of blood, you're gonna fail because of that, or like, oh, you have to be a person who's like naturally really good at science. Like, do you really want to do that? I mean, think about it. Why is somebody working so hard to dissuade you from progressing in your life? Even if the risk of failure at something is high, who cares? Like, just do it anyway. If it could be beneficial to your life, why not try? Because what if you don't fail? Like, what about that? And it's kind of sad how it's the people that are the closest to you that will be the first people to disrespect you and to look down on you and to have not high hopes or expectations of you. And it's like, you of all people should be like, yeah, you're smart. I know you can do it. You're responsible. You got this, Doesn't really happen like that. The people who are closest to you really are easily your biggest haters. That's very sad. And now this is the important part where self-awareness clocks in. If you are a person who doesn't have the most high self-esteem, if you are not self-assured, if you need validation externally to feel good, to feel validated, you are going to do what I did, and you are going to give those people so much power. And you are going to watch your life be at a standstill, and you're going to watch other people who were self-assured achieve your dreams. It gets very exhausting and very disappointing to watch everybody else get to live the dream that you wanted to live, all because you gave somebody who you thought had your best interests at heart a lot of power. Because at the end of the day, when they go to bed, they're not thinking about you. They're not. They're only thinking about you in the moment they're telling you not to do something. And again, they're telling you not to do something out of guilt that they are not doing more. And it is a lot easier to blame all these external circumstances, to come up with all these reasons as to why you can't do something, than to just fucking do it and to risk failure and be okay with making a mistake and picking yourself back up and trying it again. The fear of failure and the fear of judgment is a nasty fear. And it really is the biggest disservice that you can do to yourself. And time goes really quick. 1 second, you are, wishing that you could achieve your goals. The next second, you're talking about it with your friends. The next second, that person tells you, no, you shouldn't do it, and dissuades you successfully. And like I said, they're not thinking about you when they go to bed. They're only thinking about you in that moment of you saying that. And they're walking away from that conversation feeling pretty good about themselves, that they got you to listen to them, that they got you to be afraid, that they scared you into submission, into misery, because they don't want to be miserable alone. And then, like I said, the next second, time flies, and you're 5 years older, and you're watching everybody else accomplish their dreams, living your dreams, and there are people who are way younger than you, and you look at yourself and you're like, what have I done in my life? What did I accomplish? What do I have to show for it? Why did I allow this to happen? And then that's when resentment starts. You start looking at the people, and then you start saying, oh my God, like this person told me not to do it, and I shouldn't have listened, and I should have just trusted myself, and I should have just did what I wanted to do, because look at this person is living my dream, doing it the exact way that I would have done it, and all I had to do was just do it. It doesn't, stop overthinking. Why are you overthinking for? How do you know you're gonna fail at something if you don't get up to try? And while you're looking at that person in your life that you wanted to please, that you confided in, you consulted, guess what? They're not consulting you about how they're gonna live their life. I know, serious question. Did they ask you about what you think about the way that they live their life? If the answer is yes, think about it. How did you respond? Did you give support? If you did, then you'd be really pissed off and really expecting them to offer that same excitement for your goals that you have and the same excitement that you've expressed over their goals. But no, they don't feel that way. Now, if they don't ask you, then you see that proves my original point of they're not confiding in you, they're not consulting you. Why are you doing it to them? Why are you letting somebody else have a say in the way you live your life? Especially when it's somebody who is not doing anything with their life. If they are a bum, why are you asking a bum what they think? Why are you valuing their opinion? I mean, you shouldn't really value anybody's opinion if it is not in support of what you're doing. Unless it's unless you're doing something crazy. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about actually bettering your life. Why are you valuing people's opinions? Surround yourself with people who have the same ambitions and the same drive that you do to actually make things happen. You gotta be careful, with perfectionists. Sometimes they give advice that could be really harmful because they're too afraid to take the plunge. They're always going to advise you to wait until the right time. Wait for this, wait for that, wait so that you can have it done perfectly. And the truth is, you're never gonna be ready. You just gotta take a jump. You're only gonna be, where is my brush? Where is my stuff? You're only going to be ready once you just take the jump and you do it, and then you realize, oh, this is not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. What was I so afraid of? But that's the problem. When you are a perfectionist or when you're listening to perfectionists, they have this like decision-making paralysis that happens in them because they're so afraid of failure. So that's also why I kind of include them in a category of people who will sabotage you. And it's because they're projecting. That's what bums do. That's what perfectionists do. They don't feel like they're ready to do something, so they automatically will tell you that you're not ready to do something. And those types of people, you just need to be very careful of. And I understand with perfectionists, it's not as malicious and intentional as it could be with a bum who is like outright just like does not want to see you win because they're too lazy to do anything about it. But still, you know, the end result is the same. And at the end of the day, that's kind of all that really matters. Trust in you, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, do what you need to do it in silence so that you don't even risk being persuaded to go against what it is that you actually want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and share it with a friend if you feel like this could help somebody, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.